The following podcast is a presentation of Project Entertainment Network.
Don't be scared now, but it looks like you just wandered straight into UMIND country. That's UMIND, short for Unaffiliated Mind Games, and you ain't never gonna be the same again. Brace yourself. It's time for a red-hot truth injection. Oh yeah! That's right, we're rounding up the sheeple and shaking them awake. You mind? Too damn bad. We're gonna set fire to the wool over your eyes. Feel the burn, baby. Hot. We're toppling the lies of the lamestream media one by one. Woo-wee! Watch them bad boys fall. Hey, Universe A, this is Universe B calling, and we're gonna tear you a new one. You mind?
Hey everybody, we are here with Nicole Piech, and she is the artist, the animator behind The Seven Souls, which is an animated web series that's coming very soon. It's currently in production. She's a musician. She pretty much does it all, so it's really exciting to have you on the show today.
I'm excited to be on the show. I've never done a podcast before, so this is kind of new.
Oh, no, very cool. So basically, I'm just going to ask you questions and sort of let the audience get to know you. And I think it's so amazing to me what you're doing because you're 14 years old. And one of the other actors that we work with on Creeping Wave and on the UMIND is a school teacher, and I was back in the day. And we were both talking about when you're that age, that's when you're so inspired and so creative and ready to go before anybody tells you you're not good enough or no, you can't make that work. And we wish more people would do what you're doing, just putting yourself out there like that. So, but it's just really amazing to me, everything that you're doing and putting it out there. And have you always been the kind of person who really just loves sharing your gifts with people?
Well, ever since I was like little, I would always try to get people involved with my creativity and stuff. And I think around 4th grade, they actually started to get more interested in what I was doing. And before that, I didn't really get along with most of the kids in school. But when 4th grade was really when people started to get interested in my projects and stuff. They started saying that I was a really good artist, really good singer.
Yeah. No, it's very interesting. So your art it seems like it draws a lot from sort of the manga anime kind of style.
Yeah, I didn't always draw like that. I just decided one day I'm going to try to draw something like an anime. And then I kind of was like, oh wow, I really like this style, so I'm going to keep drawing like this more often, and eventually it just became my main style.
Yeah, and you do it really well. So
thank you.
Yeah, it's anybody who wants to go online and check out The Seven Souls, you've been posting your sort of like teaser artwork for that, and they can sort of see all the characters that are coming out and all the things that are going to be happening with that. So would you feel comfortable giving us a pitch for this series?
Sure, yeah. So basically it's about this girl who was created in a lab along with her sister, her little sister Emily. The protagonist is Graylee White. Her mother created her and her sister as artificial beings, and because she was trying to get them to have these special powers that only 8 people in the whole world have. And her mother didn't exactly know that her little sister had these powers until a couple years after she was created. And then as soon as Graylee finds out that her mom is going to start doing the same experiments on her sister as she's been doing on her, she decides we have to leave. So they escape and they meet some other girls that have these powers, and then they all get together and they have to defeat an evil entity named Katniss, and that's basically all I can say without giving any spoilers.
Yeah. No, it's really interesting, and I like that all the girls, they all have different powers and they're represented by different colors of the rainbow.
Basically, each color represents a certain quality. like, for example, Graylee's is green, hers is kindness, her sister's is patience, which is teal, and there's other stuff. You'll learn more about that as the series comes out.
Are you familiar with something called chakras at all?
I think I've heard of it before, but I don't know exactly what it is.
Oh, it's like a thing in meditation. There's these little centers in the body of different energies that are represented by different colors. And when people are meditating, they like try to tap into like the heart chakra, which is green. So like you were talking about Graylee being the green.
I've actually taken most of the soul traits from a game called Undertale.
Okay.
And basically, I didn't make up the soul color coordinated to a different trait that was from Undertale specifically, but the evil girl's soul, I made that one up. She was her soul is black and it's hate.
You talk about Undertale and anime and things like that. What are some of the things that really have influenced you in your work?
I think some things that have influenced me is I've watched a lot of animations, like Undertale animations, and especially like Glitch Tale and other series like that.
Yeah.
And when I was watching, I was like, oh, this seems pretty cool. I think I should do this. And I want to say that I first started planning out the Seven Souls probably, I want to say August of 2018, maybe. And I didn't actually start taking it seriously until probably like November of 2019.
Yeah.
And that's when I started production on the script and started hiring voice actors. It was really fun to do, and still working on it now. It's very fun to do, and I'm so glad I started.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's really so interesting to me because you're really just fully independent. This is all you. You're not with a company or anything like this. You're just doing this all on your own, which is, I mean, honestly, it's the way to do it to keep the project pure. You know, you're not really sacrificing it to anybody else. There's no one saying like, well, why don't we make this character a little bit more sassy or that? And you're just like, no, it's my character. You can go home. So, but yeah, so I'm very, very excited about this coming out, and I want everybody to, now I'm in it and I do a voice for your series and I do Graylee. And so where did you find your other actors and actresses?
I think the same way that I found you, mostly. I watch this YouTuber called Vade, and he is a huge inspiration for me. I forgot to mention that. He is a huge inspiration for me. I joined his Discord server, and I brought it up to some people who I was talking to on there. They were like, oh, I'd be willing to help you out. So I gave them some lines from the script, and they were really good voice actors, and they joined. And my script editor also, I got him the same way. He was on there. He said he didn't have the professional equipment to record voices, but he's like, oh, I can be your script editor and give you advice and pointers and stuff. He's actually really one of my really good friends now. So
very cool. So and now with your storytelling, a lot of times with writers, they have this story in their head for many years, and then it just sort of evolves and becomes something. And do you remember your first inkling of the story that now is the Seven Souls? And how has it changed from your first concept?
Well, the first OC that I created that is now currently in the Seven Souls is Olive. And I've had her for like ever since I think I was 9 years old when I made her.
Wow.
And basically I was going to make her. I was a huge Five Nights at Freddy's fan back in the day.
Oh yeah.
And I was gonna use her for a story that I was gonna that I never actually made, and then I was gonna use Graylee and Emily. They were always gonna be sisters in a Undertale story that I was gonna make. And then I was like, you know what? This isn't what I want to do. I want to make my own story, not make a story based off of someone else's story.
Right.
So then I was like, okay, I need to make some more OCs for each of the souls. Actually, I had the 5. I didn't have Paige or Kofi before until probably December is when I created them. And then it kind of just it went from there. I started writing the script in December, and then I hit a large art block, and then it was finally done in March, I think it was.
Wow, very cool. And you said that you have the character of Olive was your first OC that you created. And
Yeah.
how do you come up with your characters? Do they just sort of pop into your mind? Do you draw from real life experiences?
Well, I have an envision in my head, and I had a friend who would help me come up with some like outfits and stuff. I would have what they would look like, their appearance and such. But a couple of my OCs, I had my friend help me with the outfits, because she has Pinterest, and she was like, "Oh, this would be a good outfit for this character, and this would be a good outfit for this character." And I was like, "Oh yeah," and that's basically how I would make them, and I would come up with their personalities, by like maybe saying, okay, so there's this character in this group, so then maybe I have to make this one, like for example, Paige, I made her kind of the diva of the group, and then Emily was the baby of the group. She's the youngest, and I came up with a lot of their other personalities the same way. Actually, I think I came up with all of their personalities the same way.
Nice. And do you have a character that is your favorite to write dialogue for, or a character who's your least favorite?
I think my favorite is Nebkit, because she's always so like upbeat, and she's very immodest, but she is very protective of her friends and of herself, and she is always so energetic, and that's why she's my favorite. And she's like she's really innocent, but she's like everyone is awesome, and it's her is probably my favorite dialogue. My least favorite, I feel like I don't really like to write stutters, and Olive is like the quiet one in the group, and I have to write stutters for her verse sector too, so they know how to
Yeah, so they can communicate the character in your mind properly. So
yeah.
So voice directing, like you're doing, is a lot of it is like what from my experience is that I'll give you a line and then you'll be like, no, you're pronouncing it coffee and it's Kofi or Kofi, and that kind of thing, and I'll be like, okay, so I do it again. Has that been difficult for you, or is that how you prefer to work?
Well, actually, I feel like not a lot of people work like that, and it's kind of fun because it's different, you know. Because mostly usually they're like, they would email the file, then they would put on all this professional equipment, when I just put together the audio and such on KineMaster actually, and then I would put it onto my computer and then make the animation from there.
Now, your animation process, can I ask you what softwares you're using?
I use Adobe Animation, and for editing, I use Vegas Pro.
Very cool. And how long does it take you to get through like a story cycle or an episode?
I want to say the animation would probably take me around 3 to 6 months per episode, and then there's like maybe a month or so to write the script, and then there's like maybe 2 weeks to write 2 or 3 weeks to edit the audio, and it also depends on how many art blocks I hit. So I want to say maybe around 8 months per episode.
Well, that's pretty good, actually. Wow, that's very good. So now, when did you start animating?
I actually started the way that I started too. It's actually really funny. I started animating when I was 9 years old. I thought I was animating when I was 9 years old. I would I would go onto the computer and then use Google Shapes and then put it into a Google Slides and then use my phone to record the screen, and I called that animation.
Oh, well, that's good. I mean, and basically it is, you know. That's very cool. So you really you wanted to be a visual storyteller very early on.
Yeah.
Very nice. So now, have you found that has quarantine affected your process at all? Has it made it more difficult? Has it given you time to focus?
I feel like quarantine has given me more time to actually focus on this because I had school
Mm-hmm.
and I had like homework and stuff, and it's given me a lot more time because I could do my homework from home, and I can while I was in like a Zoom class or something, I could also work on the script or check on stuff while I was just listening to a lesson, or while if I was writing stuff, I would obviously write the stuff. But if my teacher was just giving a lesson, I could pay attention to that and also write the script.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So I think that so many writers and artists and stuff like that, that's what they do, is they're doodling the whole time in class, and they're like, no, I'm paying attention, but I'm also doing
Yeah.
this, which is more interesting. So, but yeah, it's because you can't turn that creative mind off, you know?
Yeah.
So, but what would you say to other young creatives out there who are kind of looking at people like you putting stuff up on Instagram and just saying like, that's what I want to do, you know? How would you tell them to get started or get out there?
I would say maybe don't be afraid to share it, and basically just don't give up, even if like, because I've had a ton of voice actors turn me down before I got all the characters. And some I had to recast because they said it was taking too long, but I was okay with that. So if you face a few struggles, don't give up, and just keep pushing forward.
Mm-hmm. And do you have an overarching message that you want people to take away from the Seven Souls when you publish it, when it comes out for release?
I want to say maybe the message that I want people to take away from it is don't give up, because you can overcome everything. No matter how hard times get, you can always overcome everything.
Very nice. And now this series is also featuring some original music by you as well, correct?
There's a few original songs that I've made that are actually on my channel. I have 2 songs. I have one that's Greeley's theme, and then I have another song that's called Wandering.
Now, I know you play piano. Do you play other instruments as well?
I play guitar and I play ukulele.
Mm-hmm.
I am completely self-taught for all of them.
Wow.
And I'm self-taught in singing as well.
Yeah.
Basically self-taught in everything that I do.
Yeah, that's amazing. Just you just really have a very independent spirit. You decide you're going to do something and you do it. So, yeah, that's fantastic. So, did you always intend to kind of use your YouTube channel for your animation, or did that just kind of come about?
Well, actually, I didn't plan to have a YouTube channel when it first started.
Oh.
I had this app on my phone before. This video is still up on my YouTube channel. It's like from 4 years ago. I think 5 years ago now. But I made a video on this app called Video Star, I think it is. Basically, you would make fan music videos of some songs that are on there. And my friend randomly looked my name up on YouTube. And then she was like, I didn't know you had a YouTube channel. I'm like, I don't. What do you mean? She's like, I randomly looked you up on YouTube. And then, being the little 9-year-old I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to make me famous. So I started making videos, and then it's probably 2 years ago next week, I think, I started using my channel for art.
Wow. That's so we're coming up on your 2-year anniversary on YouTube. That's pretty good. Now, if people want to connect with you and they want to see your work, your animation, what is the best place that they can get in touch with you?
They could probably go to me on Instagram or Discord. Discord, yeah, I'm more active on Discord than I am on Instagram, so probably preferably Discord.
And then we'll put those links in the description for everybody. And when do you think that production will be finished with Seven Souls, so that everybody can take a look at it and see your work?
The deadline is definitely probably February, but I don't think it's going to take that long.
Oh, very good. Yeah, it's always good to give yourself some time. So, yeah. All right. Very cool. Anything else that you wanted to let people know about your work and about your process?
I think that's it.
Okay. Thank you so much for being on the show today, Nicole.
Of course.
All right.
Thank you for letting me.
Special thanks to Nicole Piech for being on the show. You can check her out on Discord at Icy Loves Ramen, #3535. You can check her out on the Seven Souls Instagram, _7_souls_X, all spelled out. And you can check her out on her personal Instagram, that is xicyarts with a Z, X. And those links are all going to be in the description below, plus her YouTube channel, which is also xicyarts with a Z, X. So check that out. Check out her work. It is worth it, and you are going to be really impressed. Special thanks to Savage C. Walnar, our legendary announcer, who we could not start the show without, and to Ethan Meixsell, the composer of the UMIND theme, Demilitarized Zone. We love you, Ethan. If you go to patreon.com/lucidnap, you can help support the show on a monthly basis, or buymeacoffee.com/lucidnap for small one-time donations, or lostbreadcomic.com to buy my prints and art and commission a painting of your own. Or you know what, you could just follow us. That is also a good thing to do, and all the links to all the social media will be down below. You can just check it out. And while you're there, you might want to check out Creeping Wave Radio. Creeping Wave Radio is our scripted audio drama. It is coming out for a whole new season in October. We have so many amazing actors, so many amazing musicians that come on the show. It's really original. It's kind of like an old-time radio show. It's like nothing you've ever heard. But, yeah. So if you're interested in that, which you should be, go ahead and give that a listen. Just, slam that into your ears for a bit, and you want to catch up on all of our old episodes because the new season is coming out soon. So thank you so much for watching and listening and doing whatever you're doing wherever you are. And most of all, thank you to our Patreons, The Gramerica Show, Nikki Benfield, and The Lovable Neil, because you make it happen. You make us able to do this every week, and wow. The UMIND is brought to you by LucidNap Productions in cooperation with a noisy old man who rattled the door during the interview and owes Nicole an apology.
I'm sorry?
It's Bazong, the weird and wacky fiction podcast. With me, your host, Mr. Frank. Every Monday, we're talking to everyone who's anyone writing weird and wacky fiction. So if you enjoy reading funny and strange books, or you enjoy writing funny and strange books, join us on Bazong each week to learn along with Mr. Frank. Bazong every Monday, a part of the Project Entertainment Network. Bazong! Bazong!
This has been a presentation of the Project Entertainment Network.